To the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's always worthy to be praised for his glorious and holy name. All praise and glory to the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We going live. We dealing with the first day of the month, the new month, and hopefully this will be edifying to those that are tuned in because it's very important that we understand our calendar. So it's the first day of the month. I like to call it the new month. They changed it to the new moon, but it's really the new month. So as always, I'm gonna start with Colossians 3:17, and whatsoever you do in word or deed, do all by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, giving thanks to the Most High and the Father by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the Lord and Savior. As always, giving thanks to the Most High power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Most I say he the power of Israel, who is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those 12 tribes. That's who the Most High is the power of. If you're not of those 12 tribes of Israel, then I don't know what to tell you except, you got to believe in him. You believe in the Most High. That's who he is. That's who you're supposed to believe in. So, we got to fear the Most High, and we need to talk about him because his name is jealous. Look at this. Exodus 34 and 14. It's very important. Enough people in this world is really not talking about the Most High only. Y'all might bring the Most High in when he's talking to Israel or whatever, but he's not really being, you know, talked about enough. I mean, concerning him, he himself, you know. Exodus 30:14. For thou shalt worship no other power. For the Most High, we're talking about him only. For the Most High, whose name is jealous, is a jealous power. See that? The Most High name is jealous. He's a jealous power. So anything that you deal with, even ourselves, is not, you know, gonna be accepted with the Most High because of the fact that he's a jealous power. And until you realize that, you're not gonna really see the real significance in worshiping him and believing in him and talking about him. Most people debate about people, not him. Nobody's debating about him because nobody's talking about him enough to debate about him. And he's the one that's gonna set righteousness on this earth. Or you have anybody else that you can think of that's gonna bring righteousness on this earth besides him? He the only one know when righteousness is gonna come on this earth. Because it's wicked right now. Totally. In every way, shape, and form. So that's why we gotta look at him. And I've done many, many videos on just the Most High. So there's no excuse, you know, for anyone to say, I don't know him by himself. You can look at Most High, Most High, Most High. Many videos of the essence of the Most High. I've done many videos on Freestyle One. If you're on my page now, looking at it, you can go on my page and you'll see that there's many videos concerning him. Period. I'm not talking about what he's saying to Israel. He's saying about any other nation. I'm talking about he himself only. Um, Psalm 76 and 7. Psalm, the 76th chapter, verse 7. It says, thou, that's the Most High. Even thou, that's the Most High, art to be feared. That's the Most High. He ought to be feared. I mean, you better be afraid of him. You better be scared of him. And who may stand in thy sight? Who may stand in the sight of the Most High when once thou art angry? Better understand. He said, thou, you Most High, even thou, even Most High, are to be feared. See, when I ask people what's the fear of the Most High, they don't realize it. But look, he said the Most High ought to be feared. And who may stand in thy sight? Who gonna stand in the sight of the Most High when once thou art angry? Hmm? Who gonna stand in the sight of the Most High when he's angry? That's real serious, y'all. That's real serious. You know, who gonna stand in the sight of the Most High when he's angry? Look, that's why he said, look, think about this. Isaiah 29:6. He don't get no credit for this. He said, thou shalt be visited of the Most High power of hosts. This is about him. With thunder and with earthquake and great noise. You know that? Great noise like of a hurricane. Great noise like a tornado. You know, when an earthquake comes, it's like a rumbling. It's a great noise. It's a rumbling sound. Thou shalt be visited of the Most High of hosts. Hosts mean army of angels. With thunder. You know, I've heard thunder so loud, man, growing up. I mean, I remember. And going down south and back east, it'd be so loud, you just want to sit still. Y'all know about that. You ain't going to continue to do whatever you're doing. That thunder be so loud, you be like, let me sit down. You know, that's the Most High. That's his voice. He speak. Thunder is like his voice. That's his voice. He's speaking. And you can feel it. You know, I've heard thunder so loud that you feel it. You pull over to the side. You roll it down the street. It be so loud, you drown out your music. You pull over to the side. Everybody be sitting there. Straight up. And with earthquake, you hear that? Earthquakes. The ground shaking. Come on. That's the Most High. He said, and great noise, like the noise of a tidal wave, the noise of a volcano, the noise of a tornado, the noise of a hurricane, or any storm for that matter. I'm Priest Awam. That's my name. Elder Priest Awam. As I'm known as. With storm and tempest. Storm and fire. Tempest is fire. You see? Shalom, welcome. And the flame of devouring fire. That's the Most High, y'all. It's the Most High. But is he getting credit for that? Remember his name is jealous. Is he getting credit for that? No. Nobody's talking about him. They even naming the fires now. That's the Most High. Psalm 78 and 11. Psalm 78 and 11. And forgot his works and his wonders that he had showed them. See, we forgot his works and his wonders that he showed us. Marvelous thing did he in the sight of their fathers. Where? In the land of Egypt. In the field of Zoan. He put 10 plagues on the Egyptians. He didn't even touch us. We were untouchable, living in the land of Goshen. We the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. And we had Dan with us at that time. Hear what it said. He divided the sea. He divided the Red Sea that we can go across on dry ground. We forgot his works. Nobody talk about the Most High. Enough people not talking about him. And caused them to pass through on dry ground. And he made the waters to stand as an heap. Can you imagine that? He made the waters divide. You see? And we walked across the Red Sea on dry ground. This is what I'm talking about, the Most High. It says, in the daytime, also he led them with a cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. Those are chariots. A chariot in the daytime was a cloud, and at night it turned to a fiery chariot. We had light. If it was leading us, we followed that chariot. And that in that chariot was a Mashiach Yahushua, the top angel of the Most High. That's another mystery. But he was right there. He clave the rocks in the wilderness and gave them drink as out of the great depths. You know, we complained, murmured about, we need some water, complaining. So he made the water come from a rock. That's our power. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yeah. He brought streams also out of the rock and caused waters to run down like rivers. I mean, Moses, he wasn't able to go to the promised land behind not following instructions. That's why it's very important. Listen is an art of responsibility. Very important to listen. And when you hear the spirit, whenever it's something you might not know, but if you really tap into the spirit, it'll talk to you, it'll let you know. But if you don't listen, it's going to leave you. It's not going to deal with your mind. But if you listen, it'll let you know. The spirit of the Most High ain't never stopped. It's still moving fast. That's why you ask for instruction and guidance and correction. He'll give it to you. In the name of the Lord and Savior, going to the Most High on your behalf, he'll give it to you. That's why he said, look, and they sinned yet more against him. See? He showed us all these miracles. 10 plagues he put on the Egyptians, didn't touch us. We're talking about the Most High. You know, people ain't talking about him. Or prove me wrong. Everybody talking about people. That's a main objective, is to talk about people. Straight up. Anybody talking about the Most High? You better understand he's the only one gonna bring righteousness on this earth. Through a Mashiach Yahushua, but he don't even know when he's coming. Only the Most High know. He told you that. And a lot of you know this, but you still dealing with people. You end up with a bunch of robots and robotees. You're slow. You got ADHD spiritually. You better understand, if you ain't heard nothing else, you better lock into the Most High power of Israel. He said his name is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what I love calling them. He said that's a memorial to all generations. This generation that we in now. Understand overstanders. Look what he said. And they sinned yet more against him. That was us, we the Israelites, by provoking the Most High in the wilderness. We've seen all the things he done. We complained and murmured all the time. So he came through for us, and we still murmured and complained and sinned. And they tempted the Most High in their heart by asking meat for their lust. And he bought so many quails, man. That's why I eat quail. Rather than any other meat. Quail, number one. That's what he bought us. Quail. Lamb, goat. Yeah. Yeah. They spake against the Most High. See, a lot of times people think they're speaking against the man of the Most High or the man that's bringing the message of the Most High, but you're really speaking against the Most High if he's bringing the word of the Most High. A lot of people don't realize that. They just need somebody tangible that they can see, that they can blame. When you really blaming the Most High, who was they blaming? They was dealing with Moses and Aaron, but they really talk about the complaining against the Most High. Talk about the Most High, straight up. Yeah, they spake against the Most High. They said, can the Most High furnish a table in the wilderness? Wishing they would have stayed in Egypt, in captivity, slavery, and bondage, like some of y'all gonna be. When the salvation is coming to the Israelites, some of y'all gonna be, it tell you how you're gonna be. It tell you how you're gonna be. Everything you want to know is in the Bible. Past, the future, and the present. Straight up. The past, the present, and the future. All in the Bible. It tell you how you're gonna be. You can tell how you're gonna be. I know how some of you gonna be because you already like that. You're already programming yourself to be like that, to fulfill what it is that's written in the Bible. Hopefully you're going to really look at what it is that I'm bringing forth concerning the Most High, or prove me wrong. I'm challenging anybody. I'm challenging the whole world. Tell me you got somebody better than the Most High power, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Bring them forth. Debate on that. Ain't nobody debating on this. That's why he said, look, behold, he smote the rock that the waters gushed out and the streams overflowed. Can he bring bread also? We thirsty, complain. You know how we complain. What's up? I don't know what happened. Touch on. Okay, I don't know what's going on. It says rotate device back. Somebody messing with a shell. Orientation is locked. Rotate. John 3:16. Can I get a 777, or you can still see me and hear me? Anyone? Something came on the screen. It says orientation is locked. Rotate device back. So I don't know. I'm gonna continue. But this says I'm still live. So the Most High gave us water when we was thirsty, and we still complaining. We said, can he give bread also? Can he provide flesh for his people? Therefore, the Most High heard this, because who they talking to? They talking to Moses and Aaron, right? And they complaining. We in the wilderness complaining. We thirsty. You can't live without water. You done gave us the water, then complaining, murmuring. Can he bring bread also? Therefore, the Most High heard this. Verse 21. It was wrath. Because remember, his name jealous. So a fire was kindled against Jacob, against we the 12 tribes of Israel. 13 tribes at this time were damned. And anger also came up against Israel, because they believed not in the Most High, like y'all don't believe in the Most High right now enough, I might say. And trusted not in his salvation. That's powers of authority. He brought us out of captivity, under the Egyptians, brought us in the wilderness, and was taking care of us. And we was complaining. That's all we're doing, complaining, as it is today. Because they believed not in the Most High and trusted not in his salvation. Though he had commanded the clouds from above and opened the doors of heaven. You hear that? You can't even imagine that. He commanded the clouds above and opened up the doors of heaven to us. Whatever we desired, he gave it to us. and had rained down manna upon them to eat. Whatever we desire to eat, it tastes like whatever we wanted in our minds for it to taste like to eat. You understand that? And he rained down manna upon them to eat, and had given them of the corn of heaven. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He gave us so many quails that the ground was full of quails. Everywhere, quails, quails, quails. And you know what he did? Because you that eat a lot, oh, you're gonna be in bad shape. When famine comes, you're gonna be in bad shape. He bought so many quails, because quails are a little bitty bird. He bought so many quails. I can't say it might have been larger back in the day, I can't say, but all I know is he made sure that he bought enough quails. And the most ones that was probably complaining was the ones that was real big, you know. And so they was eating the most. And the Most High killed the fattest ones. So y'all better be looking at how you conduct yourself in eating. The gluttonous ones, the ones that like to eat a lot, he killed them. He killed them all. Because they probably was complaining the most and probably taking everything. Every time they cook something, cook one is done. Give it here, give it here, give it here. Everybody else waiting to get something after they get their butts filled. So we just killed them all. Straight up. Think about that. I read the Bible for solutions. I look at the Bible, oh wow. You don't want to do that because that's not pleasing with the Most High. You got to look at it. Them fat ones eating up everything, complaining all the time, So he gave them all those quail, and he killed all the fat ones, all the ones that eat a lot. He killed them first, killed them all. Everybody else got to wait till they eat. You know how it is. They big. Get out of here. Get out of here. Give me that quail. Give me that. No, so they cook. Give me that quail. No, so they done. Give me that quail. Give me that quail. So he killed all of them first and foremost. Listen, verse 26. He caused an east wind to blow in the heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh also upon them as dust, like I told you, and feathered fowls, which is the quails, like as the sand of the sea. Can you imagine that? You ever went to the beach and picked up some sand and just let sand just fall from your hand? That's how many quails he brought. It was covering the whole area where we were at in the wilderness, man. Meat to the full. He said, man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. He caused an east wind to blow into heaven, and by his power he brought in the south wind. He rained flesh, that's the quails, upon them as dust, and feathered fowls, like as the sand of the sea. That's how many quails he brought forth. And he let it fall in the midst of their camp, round about their habitation. So they did eat and were well filled. For he gave them their own desire, much as they could eat. They were not estranged from their lust, excuse me. They weren't estranged from their lust. But while their meat was yet in their mouths, these ones that was fat, the ones that like to eat a lot, the wrath of the Most High came upon them and slew the fattest. There it is right there, I'm telling you. See that? And slew the fattest of them and smote down the chosen men of Israel. You see? That's why you can't be looking at eating a whole lot of food. Well, so I ain't with that. You see what it said? Verse 30, Psalm 78. We talk about the Most High. He said, they were not estranged from their lust, but while their meat, while them quails, was yet in their mouths, the wrath of the Most High came upon them and slew the fattest of them. Y'all think I'm lying? Here it is right here. Prove all things. Here it is. And slew the fattest of them. Y'all that's got to eat a whole lot. The Most High said he killed the fattest of them and smote down the chosen men of Israel. For all this, they sinned still. Sin that the Most High killed all them fat ones. All them fat ones. We've seen the wrath that the Most High put upon the Egyptians. We witnessed the Red Sea opening up, and we going across dry ground from a sea. Can you imagine? I mean, you going to see, you just going right into the bottom of the sea, and he made it so that we can walk across dry ground. We witnessed this. We went through this. That's why I say, man, we ain't good for nothing, man. Only a remnant, straight up. And we still murmuring. You see what he said? For all this, they sin still and believe not for his wondrous works, as it is today. Therefore, their days did he consume in vanity, worthless, and their years in trouble. These are things that I look at for solutions of how we should be and how we shouldn't be. You make the choice. Everybody got a choice to make. You make the choice. He said, when he slew them, when he killed us as Israelites, then they saw them. So he get our attention by death. When he killed us, then we saw them. And they returned and required early after the Most High. And they remembered that Mashiach Yahushua was their rock. And the high power, the Most High, their Redeemer. But see, y'all remember that now. Y'all done canceled out the Most High, saying the Mashiach Yahushua is the Most High. You know, in this world today. And they remember that Mashiach Yahushua was their rock. And the high power, the Most High, their Redeemer. Do you realize that? It ain't never changed. The Most High is our Redeemer. He the one's going to redeem us from this wicked lands that we've been scattered in. But how you going to redeem us and we don't even talk about him? We ain't about him. We don't fear the Most High. People talk about him and then do all kind of wickedness. Caught in sins over and over and over again. 1 Corinthians 10, just prove that rock is a Mashiach Yahushua. 1 Corinthians 10. That's why I say you got to know the Old Testament to go into the New Testament to understand what it's talking about. 1 Corinthians 10. Moreover, brethren, verse 1. I would not have ye, I would not that ye should be ignorant, not knowing, being stupid, being not knowing, not understanding, how that all our we the Israelites were under the cloud and all passed through the sea, like he just said. And were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea. They did all eat the same spiritual meat. We got the same doctrine. They did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that we just read about that followed them, and that rock was Mashiach. You hear that? The top angel of the Most High. But see, if you don't see him in the volume of the book, you don't know that's him. You just think he just came into the world the first time in the flesh. You don't know him. He said in Hebrews 10 and 7, oh, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. You know, from Psalm 40 and 7, same thing. That's why I say you look at the New Testament, there's no New Testament. There's only the law and the prophets. They're going by the law and the prophets. That's everybody that walked in the earth. Written in the New Testament only had the law and the prophets when they walked in the earth. That's it, period. So you see that spiritual rock that followed them was a Mashiach. Understand, overstand this. Look at that's why I say we gotta really look at coming back to the Most High, y'all. Leviticus 19 and 42. Is that what I want? No. 14, select. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear the Most High. Fear thy power. Fear the Most High. I am the Most High. See that? He said what? Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor. Excuse me. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind. You know, like you know that they can't see, and you do something like a stumbling block before them. Like right now, our people will make our people as merchandise. They no different than those that have exploited us from conception. You know, that's right. All praise to the Most High. Shalom. Um, I beg to differ when you say, hey, I'm so glad I know the LORD. Do you know that the LORD comes from BAAL? Hopefully you'll hear what I'm saying. I'm going to show you this in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, in any dictionary for that matter. Look up BAAL, it means LORD. And that's their God, the ones that print the Bibles and so forth. Can you see that? You see what it says? In any dictionary, look it up. BAAL means LORD. So it would behoove you to say, I'm glad to know the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because the Most High said that's his name forever and memorial to all generations. In Exodus 3:15, the Mashiach identified him as such. In Matthew 21, well, that's what I'm talking about. Matthew 21 and 22 and 31. Let you know that he's talking about the Most High. Matthew 22 and 31. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have ye not read that which was spoken unto you by the Most High, saying, I am the power of Israel, of Abraham, excuse me. I am the power of Abraham and the power of Isaac and the power of Jacob. The Most High is not the power of the dead, but of the living. You see? That's his name. He the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Let's prove it. Exodus 3:15. You know, because we're creatures of habit, and we kind of, like I said, we're a bunch of robots and robotees, and we'll follow suit what everybody else does, but it doesn't mean that everybody's on point. That's why you got to look at this. Exodus 3:15. You can't go wrong with what the scripture says. At least for me, that's what I'm gonna follow. And the Most High said, moreover unto Moses, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, the Most High power of your fathers, the power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob, have sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. You see that? So his name is the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Well, I just told you that in Matthew 22:32. He just told you that. Okay, so now look at Luke 1:68. Luke 1:68. It's just for you and those that will hear and want to really please the Most High. Or you can continue to follow man and let man lead you into wherever destination you're going to go to and follow a man. Or you can listen to what these scriptures say. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at what the scriptures say. Luke 1:68, it says, blessed be the Most High power of Israel. You see that? Ain't no clearer than that. Blessed be the Most High power of Israel. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. You see? Point blank. Can't go wrong with that. That's what I'm talking about. Going back to Leviticus 19. So stop saying LORD. And the reason why I'm spelling it is because when you go into what the Most High told us, now you got a choice. You hear this, you're going to be held accountable. I can only tell every last one of you this. He told us this in Exodus 23. Look at Exodus 23rd chapter, the 13th verse. This is the law. He told us. In all things that I have said unto you, that I is the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Be circumspect, means be cautious. And make no mention of the name of other gods. Neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. You see? That's why I'm spelling it. I'm not saying the names. We quick to say all these names that they put in the Bible. So we call on these different names that is their God, Like I say, their God is Baal, not ours. You just heard what he said. He's the power of Israel. That's the 12 tribes of Israel, point blank. Abraham, Isaac to Jacob to the 12 tribes of Israel. That's what he said his name is. That's the memorial to all generations. Do you understand? So we're not supposed to be saying the name of their gods, because it tell you in Psalm 96 and 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. You see? They're not dealing with the Most High. If you ain't acknowledging the Most High as the power of Abraham, what a son named Isaac, what a son named Jacob, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, as he just told you in Luke 168, you the power of Israel, then you're not dealing with him. You ain't dealing with him, period. Going back to Leviticus 19. You see, that's why I'm enlightening you to change, man. I myself say you got to be born again. He was in a wicked Roman Empire, man. The wicked Israelites had came out of the Greek Empire following the way of the heathen. You see? Oh, man. So now, okay, now that's another one that you're bringing forth. AMEN, okay? That's another invention that we fall into, that they planted in the Bible. When you understand Alexander the Greek, he studied the Persian and Mede gods, and he studied the Egyptians gods. The number one Egyptian god was Amenra. And so he gave the number one idol, Zeus, that last name, Amen. And they have us calling on their God that they believe in. The Greeks believe in that. The Romans, all the way to now, in the skies. But they put it in the Bible so you be calling on their God. You still calling on them, regardless. Even God is a European invention. It's a Germanic word that they created. Europeans created around the 6th century AD. So, I mean, come on, man. Approximately around that time. You know what I mean? And they even told me, we created that word God. And they put it in the Bible. So regardless how you look at it, you still calling on them. You still calling on them. They painted their picture. The be of Mashiach Yahushua, that's a lie. You know, that's a lie. Any way you look at it. They painted their picture to represent a Mashiach Yahushua during the Renaissance period, so that you would believe that they were the Most High. Come on. Look, I can't show it enough. Like, you probably haven't been here, I'm going to show you. They painted their picture as being the Most High. Here it is right here. You see what it says, Holy Bible. You see right here? I'm not making nothing up. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. So the so-called white man painted this picture as the Most High. I just showed you he painted this picture as the Mashiach Yahushua, which is a lie, man. So that everybody would believe in them and everybody would bow down to them. You see? But see, you got to look at the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Say that. You know, I don't like to use this actual name because people will probably exploit it. But I know we just read in Exodus the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said that's his name forever, a memorial to all generations. You can go with that. Leviticus 19 and 32. Say, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man. Do our people do that now? No, everybody the same, man. That's a law. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head. I did a whole lesson on respecting the elders. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head. When I grew up, man, you couldn't disrespect no elder. Anybody would jack your butt up. But how's the world changed? People don't even care about no elders no more. You know? It says, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy power. You hear that? I am the Most High. That's what happens. We understood that growing up. Now, it's like everybody just done erased the laws. Like I tell you in Romans 10 and 2, we had a zeal of the Most High naturally, but without knowledge. We didn't have the knowledge to go into the scripture to prove it, but we had this zeal. So I looked at, being who I am and looking at us as a people and the plight that we've been going through as a people and how we changed this way, that way, whatever, because I was there. Nobody can tell me I didn't live and see what was going on with our people because I was into our people and what was dealing with our plight from a real young age. You see what I'm saying? Because I had elders that was over me all the time growing up. They was letting me know what was happening long before I even came on the earth and where we as a people. And I watched this change and change and change to where it's at now. Disrespect the elder. I remember one time they had to, out here in California, they had to come up with a law that if you abuse or strike an older person, 4 years maximum. 4 years minimum. Let me get it right. In prison. Because they were just walking around knocking old people out. Come on, man. One punch knockout. Come on, you done live all your time. You grow. As you grow, you get weaker. You ain't getting stronger. What it look like? A young man knocking an old man out. What, you think you doing something big? That's why it said, the Most High said this, thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy power. You think that's why the Most High brought that fear on them. They but sitting a minimum of fear the Most High. He said, what did he say? I am the Most High. Understand this, overstand this. Leviticus 25 and 36. Play with the Most High if you want to. He gave us laws, statutes, commandments to go by. What people want to follow or not, that's on them. Because the world tells you ain't got to follow the laws. You ain't under the law, but you are under the law. Leviticus 25, and 36. He say, take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy power. You got to fear the Most High. You're supposed to be charging interest to your brother. Your brother, he want to borrow $50. Oh, you got to give me $60 back. You give $50, but you're going to give me $60 back. No. It says, take thou no usury, that's interest of him, or increase, but fear thy power. You hear that? That's what we did. Because you know why? See, what people don't understand, the Most High is long suffering, but he gonna get you. He gonna get us, I'll say. Because I've been got, and I feel when everything happened to me, the Most High got me before I even knew as much as I know in these scriptures. I felt that because we got the zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. Couldn't take the scripture to prove it, but I know I felt it. Wow, I got for this. I got, man, what am I getting got for? What is he dealing with me for? Something. Like I say, you rather pay now and pay later. So, hey, this is what it is. But he said, hey, take thou no usury, that's interest of him, or increase, but fear thy power, fear the Most High, talking to us, we the Israelites, that thy brother may live with thee. You see? This is what it's supposed to be like, This is love of thy neighbors thyself. Verse 43. Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor. If you have a servant that's of your brother, the Israelite, say, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear thy power. He's telling you. That's what he's telling you. Going up is tell you, look up 39. If thy brother that dwelleth with thee be waxing poor, and be sold unto thee, this is his brother that's an Israelite. Thou shalt not compel him to serve as a bondservant. There's a difference. We cannot allow our brothers to serve as another nation that's serving us, but as an hired servant and as a sojourner. He shall be with thee and shall serve thee unto the year of Jubilee. That's generally about 7 years. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. You see, this is what the law says. But they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen, as regular slave men, as you would the other nations that were slave men. Let me show you the servants are, just in case you didn't know. We're going to go to the book of Isaiah. 44 and 21. Isaiah 44 and 21 showed you who the servants are without shadow of doubt. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. You see? So in Leviticus 25 and 55 also lets you know that. When you look up here, it says, for unto me, that's the Most High, the children of Israel are servants. You see? But unto me, the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants. That my is the Most High, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Most High, your power. You see? So going back to Leviticus 25, he's making a distinction between we, the 12 tribes of Israel, and the other nations. We can't make our brothers and sisters be bondmen or bondwomen. It says, verse 42, but they are my servants. And we just proved that the Israelites are the servants of the Most High, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen. You see? So it can't be sold as bondmen. He says, thou shalt not rule over them with rigor, a hard bondage, but shall fear thy power. And see how you're looking at over and over again, like I say, you got to fear the Most High. That means you got to be afraid and be scared of him. But see, people taught this day that he's all love. He's not all love. Why you think he's telling you got to fear the Most High? That's what you hear over and over again. I mean, you got to be afraid and be scared of him. People always rap. We read about what happened to us. We came out of Egypt and went to the wilderness. When you go back to what we read about in Psalm the 78th chapter, it's telling you about that. It says, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear thy power. Fear the Most High. It says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, slave men and slave women, which thou shalt have, shall be of who? Shall be of the heathen. These other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, 13 actually here. We talk about Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, and Dan. They are not heathen. They are the servants of the Most High, the 12 tribes of Israel. Both thy bondmen, verse 44, and thy bondmaids, slave men and slave women, which thou shalt have, he said, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. And that's how it's going to be in the kingdom. That are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. You see that? Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, the children of the strangers that so do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy. These other nations, outside of those 12 tribes, 13 tribes I just named. Moreover, the children of the strangers that sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begot in your land, and they shall be your possession. Think about it. That's what's going to be in the kingdom. Whether you like it or not. That's how it's going to be in the kingdom. Possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, who? The children of Israel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor or hard bondage. Point blank. He's telling you. That's why he said, fear the Most High. And if a sojourner, or stranger wax rich by thee, and thy brother that dwelleth by thee wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by thee, or to the stock of the stranger's family. After that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. You see, if they had the money, they paid this money to redeem one of your family members, he's telling you. After that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him, right? Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him. Or if he be able, he may redeem himself. You see that? But our condition in this captivity, coming here on them slave ships, he told us this. In Deuteronomy 28:68, he said, the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt, which means captivity and slavery, and two. Again, another time with ships. We the people, the 12 tribes of Israel that came on cargo slave ships. By the way, where I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And we ain't seen our homeland of Israel again as a nation. And there we go on the slave ship. You shall be sold unto your enemies, not your friends, but to your enemies for what? For bondmen and bondwomen. Listen what it says. And no man shall buy you. We just read how we got a rich uncle, or rich, his sons, or rich family member. Nobody can buy us out of this captivity that we came into on slave ships, man. Sold to our enemies. Ain't nobody gonna be able to buy us or redeem us from the condition that we put ourselves in for not following the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments, y'all. This is serious. Let's look at Deuteronomy 6 and 13. And happy new moon, happy new month, first day of the month for us. Deuteronomy 6:13. This is, thou shalt fear. You better be afraid. You better be scared. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power, your power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You hear that? You shall not go after other gods, other idols, or the gods of the people which are round about you. Just what we have done. All these religions dealing with other gods. They're not dealing with the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they're not keeping his laws, statutes, commandments. Which one? I'll ask it all the time. What religion is keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws that the Most High gave to we, the children of Israel? Name them. They're not. They're not. That's why they deal with other gods. Who acknowledges the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and said we got to keep his laws? Just that alone. That he wrote with his finger. Look, Deuteronomy 9 and 10. We don't go far. Deuteronomy 9 and 10. And the Most High me, that's Moses, 2 tables of stone, written with the finger of the Most High. You hear that? Written with the finger of the Most High. And on them was written according to all the words which the Most High spake with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of the assembly. Written with the finger of the Most High. You think it's not important? When I told you that his name is jealous, y'all better understand. That's why it says, Deuteronomy 6:13, you hear it over and over again. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power, your power, our power. Thy, your is a personal pronoun showing he's our power, the children of Israel. He say the power of Israel. We just read that in Luke 1:68. What you need? Much outside identify them. In Matthew 22:32, he said the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Come on. And Jacob was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Ain't nobody else's power. Think about it. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power, your power, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, all these other religions, or the gods of the people which are round about you, even if it's our family members that dealing with some other gods, man. That's what they're dealing with. Or show me the religion that's keeping the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, ceremonial laws, if thou can. Hmm? Listen, for the Most High, thy power is a jealous power. His name is jealous. We just read that in Exodus 34:14. The Most High, thy power is a jealous power among you. Lest the anger of the Most High, you better hear what he's saying, lest the anger of the Most High, thy power, be kindled against thee and destroy thee from off the face of the earth. That's my power. What about yours? Hmm? You better be trying to exalt him, praising the Most High. You better be trying to learn about much as you can about him before it's too late, y'all. You say, ye shall not tempt the Most High your power as you tempted him in Messiah, man. Can't tempt the Most High. If the Most High can do this, then I'll believe in him. Man, you better get out of here. Deuteronomy 10-20. Deuteronomy 10-20. Thou shalt fear the Most High, thy power, your power. Yasharahla, 12 tribes of Israel. Him shall you serve, and to him shall thou cleave and swear by his name. Power of who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said that's his name forever and a memorial to all generations. Exodus 3:15. That's his name forever. He is thy praise, man. Praise the Most High. Not no all praises, not no APTTMH, no TMH. And you just typed all these words, saying all what you want to say. You thanks and praises. No, man. Thanks and praises to the Most High. Period. You know? That's right. That's right, man. What's that? Psalms 2:10. Look at that. I like that. Yeah. Look what it says. I mean, somebody feeling it. It's just we gotta erase that LORD. That represents BAAL. They put it in the Bible so you'll be calling on them. That's why I don't know if you was here when I broke it down earlier, but that's BAAL. That's what they want you to do, to call on their God. Just put the Most High, brother or sister. Psalms 2. What's that? Psalms 2:10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Most High with fear. You hear that? Serve the Most High with fear and rejoice with trembling. Better understand. You got to serve the Most High with fear. That fear me to be afraid. That fear me to be scared. But people they think that the Most High is all love. You ain't all love. I don't see people go off just from reading scriptures from the Bible. Y'all better understand, man. It's very important. Can't get no, you better talk about the Most High too. Y'all better recognize. Y'all better recognize. I know that. Deuteronomy. Let's go back to the laws. Deuteronomy. Because these are the things that we missing a lot of. We could talk about, we appear to keep the laws, but we don't go over these laws, man. What difference do it make? Because they ain't read them themselves with understanding. I've been saying this over 30-something years, man. Deuteronomy 13:4. You shall walk after the Most High your power and fear him. You hear that? We got to walk after the Most High, our power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And fear him. Be afraid, be scared of him. And keep his commandments and obey his voice. And you shall serve him and cleave unto him. You hear that? That's easy. That's why I tell you in 1 John 5:3, in the New Testament. But this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. You're supposed to feel bad about doing what he say do? Come on, you should feel good. That's why I'm smiling. It feels good to know that we have the power of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. He gave us rules and regulations to go by. He didn't deal with nobody else. And all the nations know that we broke the laws of the Most High. Therefore, you said they're going to show you how to get closer to your power? No. That's why they're going to do all these deals, this loop here, a little wrench there, something to be able to have you to not deal with, knowing that you have a power. Yasharahla, 12 tribes of Israel. Look what he said, Amos 3, 1 and 2. Y'all better recognize, man. Stop being slow with this ADHD spiritually, man. Come on, wake up. Come out of this stupor that Amos 3, 1 and 2. Hear the word that the Most High, who we talking about, has spoken against you. Who? Oh, children of Israel. The whole Bible talking to us. 12 tribes of Israel. He said against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, remember, we talked about this in the beginning of this lesson. How we came out of Egypt, was in the wilderness, and he was talking to us. He said, what? You only. You can't make it mean nothing different. He said, you only you have I known of all the families of the earth. You hear that? He said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you, we, the 12 tribes of Israel, for our iniquity. Plural. There it is. Come on. Who else he know? He said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, we the Israelites, for all our iniquities. Period. Come on. Look. Well, you're going to run to Yasharahla. What did he say? Matthew 15, 24. That's what he said. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what he said. He said, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Before he was born, Mary and Joseph was told this. Matthew 1:21. Matthew 1:21. And she who was Mary, Yasharahla's mother, shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua. For he shall save his people from their sins. Who's his people? Let's find out. Exodus 18 and 1. Exodus 18 and 1. Who's his people? Exodus 18 and 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, this Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, heard of all that the Most High, who's the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, had done for Moses and for Israel, his people. You see that? And for Israel, his people. But the Most High had done for Israel, his people. You see that? Israel is his people. He shall save his people from their sins. Right? That's what Matthew 1:21 says. So it tells you in Hebrews 7:14, but it is evident, it's a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, that our power, Mashiach Yahushua, sprang out of Judah, the tribe of Judah, our forefathers Jacob's fourth-born son. You see? Our forefathers Jacob's fourth-born son. And how Judah looked. He sprang out of Judah, Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, they are black unto the ground. Different shades of brown, point blank. I mean, it is what it is. We got to accept that, whether you want to accept it or not. So I'm not going to be long. I'm going to go to Numbers 10 and 10, since we're dealing with the new month. I just want to bring a little bit out concerning the Most High, since he's not talked about enough. And maybe it'll move you to start looking into talking about him more and recognizing him. Numbers 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, like we're in the beginning of the month right now, the beginning of your months, the first day of the month, where they put moon in there, but it's really the first day of the month. Understand, overstand this, you see? Also in the day of your gladness, it's supposed to be a happy time. And in your solemn days, and in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings. That's what we did. And over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for memorial before your power, who is the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I am the most high, your power. You see? And now we're not dealing with sacrifices. Now, Romans 12 and 1, we have to be the ultimate sacrifice. Telling us that in Romans 12 and 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve to get. So many times we deserve to get something the Most High didn't give it to us. That's mercies, plural. That's why I say, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. How? Holy. So how would our bodies be holy? Holy is defined in Romans 7 and 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy. This definition of holy. Keeping of the Most High's laws and commandments make you holy and just and good. You see? So that's when it says holy, that means you keeping the commandments and the laws of the Most High. That's why it says, going back to Romans 12 and 1, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. So a sacrifice is giving up something that you desire to do, and you don't do it because you are taking away from what it is that you'd like to do, and don't do it because you're making sure that you follow what it is that the Most High wants us to follow. Hearing his voice, doing what he say do, his rules and regulations, his laws, statutes, commandments. Listen, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. That's why I say we got to be the living sacrifice now. Yasharahla was the ultimate sacrifice. Now we have to be the living sacrifice. Holy, meaning you keeping the commandments and the laws of the Most High. Acceptable unto the Most High. That's going to be acceptable to the Most High. You do what he say do, which is your reasonable service. Your reasonable service, reasonable thing to do before the Most High. This is what he said. And be not conformed to this world. That's a lot of problem that people have, man. They conform to this world. You know, this world got them all entangled. But they straddling the fence, you know. You can't be lukewarm with this. You're going to be hot in it or you're going to be cold. That's what he said. You better understand, a lot of y'all playing with the Most High and the Yasharahla side. He ain't playing with you, though. Believe me. Like I say, he long suffering, but he going to get you. This is what it says. Y'all better understand this. He said, hey, this is very, very important. He said in Revelation 3:15, he said, I know thy works. Meaning he know what we're doing in these mortal bodies. This is what Yasharahla telling you, that thou art neither cold nor hot. You ain't leaving it alone, and you ain't all zailed up still in this truth, man. A lot of you just neutral. Y'all just, whatever comes to the table, that's what you deal with. Especially the new generations, man. Y'all new age Israelites, man. You should be wanting to know as much as you can. Not all of you. So they got some sharp young brothers, you know. But the majority of you like that, man. If you don't change, man, you don't want to know more. From Revelation, the first chapter to the 22nd chapter, you know that? You wouldn't even come back and say, okay, well, this is how you're going to be able to make it to the kingdom. I want you to break down Revelation 12th chapter. And you don't know anything about it. You start with the first verse. There appeared a great wonder, a wonder in heaven. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and the crown of 12 stars on her head. And you don't understand nothing what he's talking about. Lake of fire. But understand, there's too much that's been given. Much is given, much is required. And you got to require what has been given. That's for you. But if you don't desire it, hey, look what he said. He said, I know thy works. He know what you're doing. He know what we're doing, all of us. That thou art neither cold nor hot. I would that thou were cold or hot. Did he say he'd rather be leave it alone or be zealed up and be in it like I am and other brothers are? You know? So then, because thou art lukewarm, you straddling the fence, you ain't really trying to get as much as you can get out of this. While you have opportunity, look, World War III is knocking on the door. Jacob's trouble is going to come. You think they're going to come? They hollering racial war for everything to happen. Racial war. It's going to start a racial war. It's going to happen because it's written in the Bible. It's going to happen. Where you going to be at when it happen to you? And you ain't going to be able to study. Ain't no more coming online learning this. Whatever you know, you got to roll with it. You ready for that? Are you ready for that? Ain't no coming on the Bible, coming on the online studying on social media. That's finished. You know, they set the grid down. You ain't trying to survive. And how you gonna survive if you don't know what it is that you've taken the time to know, and all of a sudden hear the judgment? Bam! Oh, we die. Then there's judgment. What did you care about? You know, that's what he said. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, but straddling the fence, I will spew thee out of my mouth. You hear what he said? He said, I'm going to spew you out of his mouth. What's coming out of his mouth? Revelation 19:15. Because a lot of y'all think, because y'all know a few scriptures, y'all Israelites, that you already made it to the kingdom. We ain't made it nowhere. He said, he that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. Revelation 19:15. And out of his mouth go up a sharp sword. You hear this? That with this sharp sword, he shall smite the nations. And we're 12 nations that make up one nation, the 12 tribes of Israel. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. That's the laws and the commandments of the Most High. And he shall tread the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty power, Most High. That's what it's saying. Where you going to be at? You got a choice, man. You better understand. Amos 9:10. All praises to the Most High. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. All the sinners of my people. Who's my people? Y'all should know how to define that. Matthew 2:6. Matthew 2:6. Who's my people? All you that sin against the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. That's what he's talking about. Matthew 2:6. This defines my people. And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor to Samashiach Yahushai that shall rule my people Israel. You hear that? That shall rule my people Israel. So he's telling you. Amos 9:10. For all you that think, oh, I done made it. Because you realize you're an Israelite. You better understand, man, there's work to be done. A whole lot of work. He said the righteous scarcely going to be saved. Listen, Amos 9:10. All the sinners of my people that are Israelites shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Come on. He told you he's going to kill you. That's why you're all the Most High. What y'all say in church? All the Most High, he hates the sin, but he loves the sinner. What does it say? Ecclesiasticus 12:6. For the Most High hateth sinners. We got to look at that word sin. What is sin? In the New Testament, y'all. 1 John 3:4. Most High say he hates sinners. So what is sin? Let's find out. Because this is what they read from when y'all go to church tomorrow, or it might be today. For some of you that's on the East Coast, what does it say? This is the definition of sin. 1 John 3:4, the 3rd chapter, the 4th verse. This is the definition of sin. Whosoever committeth sin transgresses also the law. That, remember, the Most High wrote with his finger? For sin is the transgression of the law. You see? The breaking of the Most High's commandments, his laws. So now, since they lied to you and said that the Most High, he loved the sinner, but he hates the sin. Listen to what it says, contrary to what you have learned. Ecclesiasticus 12:6. For the Most High hateth sinners. See that? The Most High hateth sinners. He don't love no sinners. Contrary to what you have been taught. The Most High hateth sinners and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous. I don't like to use that word God because, like I told you, that's a European invention, a Germanic word that they created, which is dog spelled backwards. And when you reread Matthew 15:24, the apostle was going to a Yasharahla because this Greek woman, the so-called Greek woman, was bothering them before she came to a Yasharahla about trying to get the demon that was in her daughter out. And he ignored her. He said it's not right, which is not meat, to take the children's bread and to cast it unto dogs, to the dogs. And she said, yes, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs that fall from the children's table. That's what she said. He said, for this thing, your daughter is healed. She admitted they're dogs, D-O-G-S. That's what it says. Let me make sure y'all, I don't like to say nothing I can't prove. Because, you know, a lot of people say, I'm speaking my own words. No, I'm not speaking my own words. I'm only speaking things that I can prove in the Bible. Well, I don't talk about it. I try not to, you know. But, you know, you have a slip sometimes. Sometimes I'll, you know, slip up. But I try not to. I try to talk about things that I can prove from the Bible. Look at Mark 7:24. Here go the story here. Same story in Matthew 15 chapter. It says, and from thence he arose and went into the borders of Tyre and Zidon and entered into a house. It would have no man know it. Trying to hide from everybody, but he could not be hid. See that? For a certain woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard of him and came and fell at his feet to worship him. The woman was a Greek, like Alexander the Greek. Come on now, don't get ignorant on me. A Syrophoenician by nation. That's where she lived, coming from. But she was a Greek. Her nationality was a Greek, so-called white woman. And she besought him that he would cast forth the devil. See, the unclean spirit was called the devil out of her daughter. You see, this is what happened. But the Master said unto her, let the children first be filled. Let the children of Israel first be filled. Let them get their blessing. We get our blessing. For it is not meet, not right, to take the children's bread and to cast it unto the dogs. Come on. That's what Master said. Your sweet Jesus. That's what he said. He called them all dogs. D-O-G-S. That's what it says. I ain't making this up. Read it for yourself. And she answered and said unto him, just like I told you, yes. Like I don't like to use that word there because they put it there, so we call it on B-A-A-L. B-A-A-L means L-O-R-D. Let me show you. This is Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. You see that? You see what it means? B-A-A-L means L-O-R-D. That's their God that they put in the Bible and have everybody calling on them. I can't put in your face enough, man. From the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. See that? In any dictionary, any Bible dictionary, you'll see that's pretty much the first word when you look up the letter B. B-A-A-L. Now look, back to the point at hand. Mark 7:28. And she answered and said unto him, after he called them all dogs, she said, yes, Hamashiach was shy. Yet the dogs under the table eat of the children's crumbs. You see? So she admitted that they all are dogs. And he said unto her, for this saying, go thy way, the devil is gone out of thy daughter. For that saying. And David prophesied also in Psalms 22:16. For dogs, he prophesied about Mashiach Shai when he hung him on a tree. It says, for dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. Who pierced the Mashiach Shai's hands and feet? Did nobody pierce King David's hands and feet? He was a mighty soldier, warrior. Come on. Nobody pierced his hands and feet. You better understand. But he said that for dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They who are the wicked pierced my hands and my feet. Y'all better understand. Understand. It's real. Who the wicked? Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked do what? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, when who is he? Who did it? Come on. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. See? It's only 5 people in this picture. They called the boys here family. And they call them the first crime family. It's only 5 people in this picture. Who discovered that? You know, I discovered that years ago. Why aren't they really bringing that out? You know? But he said, for the dogs have compassed me. The assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. And we know, the Most High, you know, he let us know. Those that have ears to hear. You know, he called us worse than that. So any of you got a problem with that, check with me. Let me show you what he said about us, because you ain't going to complain about that. Look, Malachi, the 1st chapter. Most High said, verse 4, he said, whereas Edom, the biblical name for the indigenous, aboriginal, Caucasian people, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, because they were ran into the Caucasus Mountains, but we will return and build a desolate place. When they came out of the Caucasus Mountains in 1453 and started taking down the Israelites that ruled the Byzantine, what they call the backwards empire, the dark ages, the medieval time, between the time that they ruled and the time they came back into power, from 1453 all the way to 1492, said, thus say the Most High, power of hope, power of army of angels. What do you say? They shall build. So they're going to build, but I will throw down. You know that's a brother. They going to build, but he said, but I'm going to throw down. And they shall call them who Edom, the border of wickedness. You see? And the people against whom the Most High have indignation forever. They know this. You didn't know this. We know it because the scripture says it. So that's why when you look at, they taught our people, the Most High hate the sin, but he loved the sinner. Back to Ecclesiastes 12:6. We define what sin is in 1 John 5:3, right? Sin is the transgression of the Most High's laws that he wrote with his finger in the New Testament, that they're not going to show people that you still accountable to the Most High by doing what he say do. That's a problem now. We have always disobeyed him. And the wicked have disobeyed him. And we went to captivity, slavery, bondage behind what the wicked done. We paid the price. That's why the Most High said, Ecclesiastes 12:6, for the Most High hateth sinners. Hear that? He hates you if you're a sinner, and will repay vengeance unto the unrighteous, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. That's what the Most High say He gonna do. He keepeth them for the mighty day of their punishment. What's He gonna do when He come for you? You ready for the Most High? I don't think so. I don't think people ready for Him. He the only hope, though. You're either gonna be on the right side or the left side. Hopefully you're on the right side, where you can feel the love of the Most High. So y'all say about love, and He's smiling on you instead of frowning. Hebrews 10:31, y'all know what it says. It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, the Most High. That's why I'm trying to warn you so you don't have to be in His hand. Other than that, better try and do what He say do. So Psalms, the 81st chapter, it says, sing aloud unto the Most High. It's verse 1. Our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the power of Jacob. See, there it is again. He's the power of Jacob. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. Take a song and bring thither the timbrel. Bring some music to him. The pleasant harp with the psaltery. He said, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day, which is the first day of the month. He said, for this was a statute for Israel. Not everybody. This is a statute for Israel. We the 12 tribes of Israel. And a law of the most high power of Jacob. You know that? It's a law that we keep this new moon. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony. When he went out through the land of Egypt, say he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. That's how much the Most High cared about Egyptians. He said he heard a language that he understood not. He didn't even care. Remember, he changed all the people's language just when Nimrod built the Tower of Babel and spread them everywhere, right? Changed their languages. He said he heard a language he understood not. Didn't even care to know what they saying. So when they pray, who we go? Most I hear nothing they saying. That's what he just said. I went through the land of Egypt. What did he say? Well, I heard a language that I understood not. There it is. You can't make him understand what they're saying. He just said he went to the land of Egypt where he heard a language he understood not. He care less about their languages. So it's a law, you know. This is before Moses, that we were keeping the first day of the month as a law in a feast day, like we doing right now. And I'm not gonna hold you too long. That's all I wanted to bring forth. I just wanted to bring forth, you know, a little something concerning the Most High, Mashiach Yahushai, and we the 12 tribes of Israel, how we got to come back to Him and fear Him and enjoy our day of gladness, you know. And with that, I say, Kwam Most High, and Thawada for joining me. Kwam Mashiach Yahushai, and keep the faith, keep the laws of the Most High, and Kwam Yasharahla. We got next forever and ever and ever. And I'm out. Shalom. Live. It's still live. Turn this thing on.